Yes.
They greatly regret.
Yes. I've interviewed a couple of people who've done exactly that, and it's
Right.
damn painful.
So I think during.
Why are you willing to make this an issue, do you think?
Well,
it's sort of like the natalist issue.
It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This was before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he did.
That was a lie right from the outset. No reliable clinician ever believed that. There was never any evidence for that. And also, if there's a higher suicide rate, the reason is because of the underlying depression and anxiety, and not because of the gender dysphoria. And every goddamn clinician knows that too. And they're too cowardly to come out and say it. Right? And so and then we end up in exactly, when I saw that lie start to propagate, it just made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. It's like, I see. So you're telling parents that unless they agree to this radical transformation, that their children are going to die, and you think that's moral, and you think that's true. That is so pathological that it's almost incomprehensible. I can't imagine anything worse. I can't imagine a therapist doing anything worse than that, or sitting by idly and remaining silent while his colleagues are doing it. It's pathetic.
It's incredibly evil, and I agree with you that people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
It won't stop till that happens.
Yeah.
It'll just go underground. Puberty blockers are being accessed online by kids all the time through non-medical channels. So yeah, right. It's not going to stop. Yeah. Okay, so I see. So that's.
So I was tricked into doing this, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. Anyway, and so I lost my son essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah.
All right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead.
And I hope you're having a wonderful day today. I know I am. It is damn near midnight where I am. Anyway, I'm hoping I started this video off perfectly fine with a clip of Elon speaking about his situation. But this is a topic that I actually think is super important to cover. I've seen plenty of people who sort of want to discredit Elon or make it seem as though he's just the stereotypical mustache twirling multi-billionaire that wants to take advantage of the US system, much as most do. And I think this is particularly interesting because I'm sure Elon has done stuff that some of us may not agree with to make it to his multi-billionaire status. However, I do think it's important to realize the importance him and his companies have had on society as a whole and the advancement in technology. While his accomplishments are great, I do want people to understand that it's not quite easy and that the government isn't exactly on Elon Musk's side, nor has it ever been. I think it's important to look at something he talked about, which is regulation and sort of the stalemate that our government has had. Things like NASA and rocket technology, the sort of stalemate we've had, our inability to explore science. And this is a great example for the main point I'm going to make for Elon. And that is, he is a very passionate person when he puts his mind to something, despite the fact it may not always benefit him in a obvious way. His passion for Mars and space travel is there. He works countless hours, yada, 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 hardworking man. It's not necessarily just beneficial to him, it's beneficial to society as a whole. But when he speaks about this, I do truly believe him when he says this is something he wants to do, not for the money, as there are about 1 billion better ways to make money than trying to uproot NASA and take their place. Like, this is a very bad money-making scheme, right? The fact he succeeded is actually amazing. It's what makes him so unique as a person. It's why everybody gives him the credit he has. Tesla is amazing as well, but it's not quite as the profit incentive there is way more obvious, right? Than expanding space travel. It's obviously a passion project. My whole point in mentioning all of this is that emotion absolutely plays into why people do certain things, and I also think that plays into whether or not you can believe someone's doing something for an ulterior motive. When it comes to politics and why I personally believe Elon with what he's saying about yeah, hide my wallet, never know. Why I believe Elon with what he's saying is because, one, he's been a Democrat his entire life. He has openly been that way. This is said by even liberal media. This is no secret. You can look it up. He always has been. But for this election, something important changed in his life. When he speaks about his child with Jordan Peterson, he makes it very clear that this is a personal situation for him. I think this being a driving factor is why I don't think he didn't have some 5D brain idea to buy Twitter and help Donald Trump win an election so that he can have some unlimited power bestowed to him by what would be the United States, right? I truly believe that the left slighted him in a way that many of us cannot even comprehend and that most of us fear. The truth is, what really drives me against the left, which I'll probably make a video talking about my journey into conservatism. I was always more moderate, I thought, more in the middle. But as time goes on, they really have pushed me into becoming a complete enemy to the left. I believe it is the same with him, but his version is significantly more extreme. They made it where he feels like he lost a son. His son, unfortunately, is going through a tough time. They're going through a period where they have either something undiagnosed or they've been duped and tricked into believing they are something they, in fact, are not. This is formerly called gender dysphoria, now known as being transgender. And this is something that he feels very strongly about and he gets emotional about. And this is something that people seem to have been ignoring. I've noticed the dialogue around Elon Musk from news stations, from people like Asmongold, and I feel like this point gets very ignored. And I'm curious as to why that is. I think this is like a super important point for like why someone would be against an ideology or a side. And I feel like this is getting buried, and I don't see any media really talking about it ever since it happened. And now the strategy seems to be to play him as just this evil, conniving businessman who planned this out years in advance and knew he was going to help Trump run and he was going to do all this stuff. But when you look at the history, that doesn't really add up for who he is or his motivations. He's been a multi-billionaire for years, since I was a child. And that doesn't really add up with his character, and his motivations are legit. We know for a fact that his relationship with his child is basically dead. His child came out and spoke when Elon said that he felt his son was taken from him by the left, that his son is dead. And his son spoke out and was also very emotional, and clearly this is something that drove a complete wedge between them. And as somebody who wants to have a kid, this is a giant reason for why I will never support the left in the form that it is today, and why so many of you and people who are into politics are just not even into politics, just normal people. This is what they're afraid of. They're afraid that they're going to come home one day and their son is going to be wearing a dress. Their son's going to be saying they're in the wrong body. Their son is going to be saying they're a woman. And this is a fear because it does not turn out well for these people. They may say they're happy. The truth is most of them go with undiagnosed conditions. The truth is most of them end their lives prematurely. And the truth is this is not pleasant. It's not fun. Having a bunch of hormones shot up into your body is not fun. Having surgeries is not fun. I've been through a a surgery myself. It's not exactly the greatest thing in the world, right? This goes for so many people. Anyone who's had any sort of procedure will tell you that is not fun. People who have to take testosterone because they have lower levels wish they didn't have to do that. This is not a lifestyle that anyone should wish on another person. This sort of celebration of this mindset has caused the woke mind virus, or what I like to call just mass delusion. It is a massive delusion that is preying on the most susceptible of us, the most gullible, the most easily manipulated, and the most vulnerable of our society. It is very dangerous. And I think Elon Musk's situation is a very good reason for why he turned his back on the left and why he is so adamantly against it. He found in Donald Trump what so many Americans have, and I'm sure plenty of conservative men who've been in the same situation as Elon. He found in Donald Trump someone who can stop that from happening to anyone else. It's a tragedy. And I think a lot of people sweep this under the rug like, oh, your son's still alive, blah, 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 blah. This is a very emotional thing. Losing a child is not easy, whether it's ideologically or physically. He's separated from his kid, and his kid is brainwashed. This is not an easy thing to get through. Whether or not you think Elon is wrong, he truly believes that his son is gone. Apparently he's taking hormones and all this other stuff. The chances are, even if that boy changes his mind, he will never go back to what he was. And that is what's terrifying. So when people say I hope you guys understand that, like, when people try to make it seem like Elon Musk is just this mustache twirling, you need a much better mustache than I have. He's this mustache twirling villain. I find sympathy in my heart for his situation, and I know that's not the case. I don't know, but I have a very strong feeling. And the truth is, I really trust the discernment of certain people. People who have proven that they're intelligent, that they're willing to listen to people, that they have like deep thoughts about things. Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, these are people that support Elon Musk, and I don't think especially those two would go out of their way to support someone who they think is secretly this horrible billionaire. And truth is, they know him much better than any of us. Donald Trump knows him much better than any of us. I think he has enough people who have like genuinely worked their whole life towards knowledge, understanding, or helping people to actually comprehend, how do you say? I think he has enough people like that who support him for me to also to strengthen my belief that he's telling the truth and how he feels. That's really my whole point on it. When he bought Twitter, he stuck to his word. It is far more free speech friendly. So you can't do anything, but that's just not how life works. Even in real life, you can't walk in and say a building's on fire when it's not, right? Like, there's always going to be some kind of limitation, but compared to Twitter, I don't know, like 3-4 years ago, it's not even close. And I don't think he bought Twitter to rig the elections. It's just like there's no signs of that. There's zero proof that was his intention. He clearly cared about free speech. He's one of the people who suffered from them trying to silence him. I imagine he just got pissed and was like, can I buy Twitter? And then I don't know who he talked to. They were like, yeah, you can probably afford it. And he was like, all right. And then he asked about it, and everybody's like, please buy this shit. And he did it. And I don't think that was for selfish reasons. He made no money from it. There was no sign of him joining the election at the time. And I haven't seen any proof that it was this big 5D brain, like this 5D scheme. He's been pretending to be a Democrat for years just for this moment. Like, there's no fucking way that was really his thought process in buying Twitter, right? I saw Asmongold in an earlier video today. Don't mean to keep calling him out, but he's one of the people that come to mind who is not against, but he's talked out about Elon Musk without all the information, I think. People on the right, as obviously I consume that more, and they don't really have that animosity towards Elon. They don't really like suspect him of being some mustache twirling villain, right? But I saw Asmongold talk about it like that was the case. And that's not why he bought Twitter. And I don't think there's any proof of that. You would have to really convince me that was the case, especially because everything he said and everything he's done is completely contradictory towards that. You may believe everything is just money for him, but he has so much fucking money. And with buying Twitter and that decreasing, like, in value, I don't think everything he does is about money. I think he actually is a billionaire with morals, or at the bare minimum dreams for what humanity should look like in the future. And I think his space program is absolute proof of that. He's using billions of dollars to advance civilization. He talks about all the time, very passionately, about his idea of the future on Mars and just humanity as a whole. This is someone who may be a billionaire, but he has a vision in his mind, which is a better form of humanity. And you can't get this from very many billionaires. Very few billionaires have as much talk time about the future of humanity as Elon Musk. He is highly intelligent in a way that most of them aren't. I think he has a very futuristic kind of mindset outside of business, which a lot of billionaires just don't have. He sees the future and not just number signs, but sort of like, how will humanity change, you know? But yeah, that's my whole reason for believing in Elon. I would need proof personally that he's this evil villain. Like, if you can't prove it, I think it's kind of wrong to just assume, well, you're rich, so you have no morals or no vision. Truth is, he's probably done more for people than most billionaires out there, I'd imagine. And he's probably done more for science and humanity as a whole than anyone watching this. Definitely more than me. That'll change when I discover the Holy Grail, the real Holy Grail, and ascend to ultimate power. I don't fucking know. He's one of those people. I don't even want the delusion of competing with him one day. But I actually, I do believe in Elon. Could he be bamboozling us? Sure, I guess. I mean, he runs an electric car company, and his other company is literally based on advancing human civilization. I mean, I'm sure his position is gonna boost his companies, but I mean, it's not like that money's going towards some evil fucking, I don't know, he's planning to take over the world. Like, it's very obvious what he's doing, and I think either way, that money's advancing, one, electric cars. For those of you who care about the environment so much, I find it very strange Elon is enemy number one, because he doesn't believe a boy can be a girl. And for those of you who believe in humanity and science, and you're not religious, I'm not religious at all. I'm actually an atheist, so... but those of you who believe in that, I think his space program is like, what more do you want from a billionaire? I can't think of very many billionaires doing programs like this. He puts money into research and all this other stuff. He was giving out millions of dollars. He was giving out $1 million a day for people to just go out and vote, and it didn't matter who you voted for, technically. So you just had to sign a petition. You had to go out and vote, right? These aren't the hallmarks of a terrible businessman who's out for just money. He's so rich that I think a lot of you overestimate, like, Elon can't spend all of his money, guys. Unless he just tries buying every company. Like, he actually has so much fucking money. He cannot spend all of it. I don't think he's super obsessed with the idea of, taking over the world in this master plan. Like, I don't think he's so obsessed. He's not a slave to money. He doesn't think like you and me, and I think that's the hardest part for people to grasp onto. He's not a normal brain. He's highly intelligent. He's a very different person from what you would meet walking down the street. He's genuinely unique, and he's like the richest man on earth for a reason, right? Like, you don't get that far without a special kind of mind. But overall, I think his emotional, like, reasonings is absolutely enough for me to believe that Elon Musk is not an evil villain, and he's doing what he believes in, whether or not you agree personally with what he wants or not. And I think, God bless, that's what America is for. That is what our fucking Constitution is for. Protect your right to freedom, liberty, peace, all that good shit. And I think he's living the American dream, and he's wasn't even born here originally, right? He's South African, and he's done more for America than most billionaires from our own country originally. So kudos to Elon Musk, and I hope everything turns out well with this. I don't even know what to call it, coalition of just amazing figures. We got Tulsi Gabbard, we got maybe Alex Jones as the speaker. That shit would be so funny. We got RFK, Donald Trump. Yeah, I think it'll be good. We have amazing people on the right in general. We have Candace Owens. I kind of didn't agree with Ben Shapiro for a while here, but whatever. We have him. We have Charlie Kirk. We have Michael. Fuck, bro. We have so many people. Anyway, I've been in a fucking video. Thank you, and let me know if you guys think you agree with me. Am I just crazy? Am I stupid for believing this man who lost his son is actually just trying to do the right thing? Am I stupid? Maybe. Maybe I have a bleeding heart. Who knows?